summon me.
Alright, I just realized that my mic has been muted the whole time.
Awesome. Um, Doing mana tombs here, time walking, kind of messing around with all the specs, seeing how they do in a dungeon. This is my Alliance Warlock, who isn't as well geared as my other one. I mean, he's geared okay, but he's mainly used. I mean, I just put him on another server to have a different server to play on. Trying to hold as many soul shards as I can until we get to the boss. We did the last boss in Affliction, so we're going to do this one in Demonology, and I will do the next boss in Destruction, just to kind of see how all three fare. So far, Demonology for me seems to be better than Affliction. Affliction makes me lazy as crap, since all I do is stand there and just throw dots up. Because now it's a drain life as a filler. It's not. I, I like the channel filler for the Warlock. I like the idea of it, but I miss Malefic Grasp, Malefic Grasp. I miss that so much. I wish they would bring it back, but they probably won't. And it's a shame because it was a perfect filler channel for Warlocks because it increased the damage the targets took from the dots, and I miss that. I miss that so much with the Drain Soul Execute. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start this fight now. Oh, we are stunned. We got at least got our demons up though. Besides the stun, this one seems to be doing a little bit better. I will give it that. He's down. Still, I mean, we're not too far off from the other DPS in here, except for the hunter, who is way ahead of everybody else. I'm right there with the paladin, and actually, I have more DPS than the tank. He has more damage overall, but I have more DPS than him. So let's switch over real quick before he pulls. Yeah, to destruction, and we'll give destruction a wing. Alright, it's already set up, so all I gotta do is go in here and just attack. And if you don't know, Conflagrate automatically gives you a shard when you use it, so if you're starting to run low on shards, just use Conflagrate to bring it back up. It should be in your rotation regardless. Um, I'd definitely do that. Oh, you know what? I haven't even Grimsacked a pet yet. There we go. I just did. Should increase our damage just a little bit. I tell you what I'm gonna miss is this Shadow Burn. Um, you have to spec into it now, which I think is stupid as shit, honestly. I really don't like some of that, to be honest. It's like, that's so dumb. Why do you spec into Shadowburn? That was our execute for destruction. Wow, the hunter just pulled those guys. Awesome. want to fix the camera. I don't like it. I mean, I don't mind it doing that, but sometimes I like to angle my camera a certain way and not go back. So let's fix that real quick before we head to the next fight. Go into camera. Never adjust my camera, please. See, now I can do whatever I want. Alright. Let's pull these guys. This right here is what is going to make Warlocks needed for raids. Is basically their portal, which is stupid. But it reminds me of Vanilla and Burning Crusade, when you would just bring a certain class in just for the buffs. I mean, you didn't care what they did DPS. You brought them in for the buffs. You're like, well, I need this person for this buff. I don't know. You don't need. You're not. It's not like you're saying, oh, well, I need you because you know your DPS or this. It's all about utilities. That's what it really. That's what it really boils down to. And Warlock is more. I mean, they can still do good DPS. You just got to get the right rotation, the right gear, and that takes time to perfect. I mean, I didn't play on the beta, but you know, playing on the beta gives you the opportunity to play around with a spec for a while before you know it becomes live. I used to do it all the time in Wrath before a patch would drop, when they'd put it up on the PTR, because I was on the you know, the dedicated raid team. I would go and play on the PTR and learn the spec before the patch, especially if we weren't really doing anything. I would just go and it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go mess around with these specs and figure out the best spec and, you know, get everything right for when it becomes live. And I didn't do that this time. I don't have the time to do that anymore. I mean, I don't really raid anyways, so I really don't care how much DPS I do. You know what? I really don't give a shit. So whether you guys like the video or not, who gives a fuck, right? I mean, it's just basic, you know, basic stuff. I play the game for fun. That's all I do now. Oh, thank you for locking my fire. Um, I mean, basically, that's all I do. I mean, yeah, you got your people that raid, and you know, that's, yeah, good for you guys. I don't have the time for that shit anymore. I got other shit to do. So, I mean, you can keep your raids, and I'll just keep playing and doing it the way I do it. So, I'm basically just doing this to kind of, you know, get a feel and see how it does in a dungeon. I still enjoy doing dungeons and stuff like that. Um, Honestly, a lot of the people that I've played with over the years don't even play the game anymore. And I'm like one of the only few that's left that still do. I do not pay for my game time. I have enough gold to buy game time, so I don't really spend any more money on the game as, you know, as some other people do. I mean, hell, all the money that I spend on this game now is for the expansion when it comes out. The game time, I don't even pay for that anymore. Comes straight out of my gold with the tokens. But when you play a game for almost 10 years, you're gonna have gold built up to do stuff like that. So, but for those of you who still raid, I understand it. I understand raiding and I understand how it works. So far, what it's looking like to me is, you know, Warlocks are gonna have their DPS. It's gonna be there, and you're gonna have your few that, you know, are unbelievable Warlocks and do the damage that you need. But, you know, they're gonna serve as a major utility, definitely. The one thing I did like about Affliction that took me a little bit to grasp was the soul effigy, which is actually pretty cool once you learn how to use it. I mean, it just basically you put it up and just throw some dots on it when you're in a boss fight, and the boss will take the extra 35% damage from whatever the soul effigy takes. Um, I'm seeing a lot of people saying to go into contagion over absolute corruption, and I get that, and that's what Icy Veins and Noxic says. I get that. I mean, because you do 15% more damage on your unstable affliction. With all your damage when you put unstable affliction up, but unstable affliction doesn't last that long. If you have the permanent absolute corruption, the permanent corruption where it lasts, it doesn't. You don't have to reapply it. It does 25% more damage, and it lasts, forever. So you're taking the 15% more damage on all spells for like a few seconds over a 25% permanent increase. And the longer the boss fight, the more damage that corruption is going to do. So, I mean, I like to stick with it because you don't have to, it's one less dot you have to worry about reapplying. But what makes you lazy with affliction is it's dots, man. You just throw up dots and, you know, throw your filler in whenever. That's why they call it a filler, because it's there just to fill in those down times you have when you're not applying dots. But when you got a soul effigy and you're expecting contagion, you're almost always reapplying dots the entire time, because you're having to reapply dots to the soul effigy, reapply dots to the target, reapply dots to the other targets if there's multiple targets. So the filler is more or less null and void then. The thing I do like about affliction, on on speaking on the other hand, I haven't tried it yet in a battleground, but the way it looks is it's going to be like the old SLSL spec, which I loved during Burning Crusade. Great PvP spec, and I missed it. Now I'm glad it's kind of making a comeback. So I'll probably do a lot more PvP in this expansion because of that, depending on how it works. If it's still around the same as it was before, I'll definitely do more PvP this expansion. I didn't do a whole lot last expansion. I was looking forward to like more world PvP, but Ashran kind of sucked. It really did. I missed the world PvP like Winter Grasp, where you come in and your team, you know, tries to capture an area, the relic, the Titan relic, or whatever it was. You're capturing Wintergrass Fortress, and for raiders, it brought them into the world PvP because there was a reason for them to do it, because there was a raid there to do if your faction owned it. So I, I haven't. I don't know if that's going to be in Legion, anything like that's going to be in Legion or not. But I liked that with Wintergrasp and Tol Barad. It gave you more of a reason if you were a raider to do uh, that that battleground, that PvP. So in my eyes, world PvP is dead. It's dead, and it's probably going to stay that way. And use a drop down. Freaking Disc Priest has done more damage overall. I mean, I keep switching specs, but Disc Priest, they do damage now because that's how they heal. It's through their What are you doing, bro? You're just gonna pull the boss and the healer is dead. It looks like I'm gonna have to res him.
I have such fascinating things to show you. It's too far away.
Oh, I don't know what this guy's doing. Let's just down this boss real quick. Since I basically just saved the group there because the healer was down and the tank pulled, so went for my soul stone, we wouldn't have a healer right now.
I have such fascinating things to show
So we are done with that. I can turn this, accept that, and get out of this dungeon with these people. Alright, well, that's just the Manitomb's Time Walking Burning Crusade dungeon. Just playing around with the three specs they brought into Legion. Like I said, this is my Alliance Warlock. I'm just doing him on here because he has more Time War badges than my other characters do. Because I already bought one of the mounts. So I'm just going to chillax, and thanks for watching the video. I appreciate everybody's support, whether it's negative or positive. I don't really give a fuck. Alright, well, everybody have a good one, and see you later. Peace.